Howdy folks, Keywii here, and welcome back to Debt Simulator, where we have a government debt. I'm not a fan of it. But what can we honestly do about it? So, we got some news to interact with. We got the Whole Sword Post. President visits school in Lorraine. Middle school in Lorraine received a special visit from President Rayne and Minister of Education, Miss Walda. Students and staff at Torren High School, one of the 5 most prestigious schools in East Sordland, welcomed the special visitors on Thursday morning. President Rayne had expressed his wish to visit the successful Torren High School and spent the morning talking with staff and students, joining in lessons, and hosting questions and answers sessions with the students. Through his visit, Torren Hill is delighted to have had an opportunity to represent the fantastic job that all staff members have been doing. Assembly talks about prayer language. Today, Casero Kibner, the leader of the NFP, has proposed the Sordish Prayer Language Act to do the assembly. The proposed bill aims to standardize the language of prayer to Sordish in the entire Sordland. Language prayer has always been a controversial topic, as most of the religious ceremonies in Bergia region, where most of the Bludish population resides, conduct their prayers in Bludish. The proposal has caused heated discussion between the Bludish MPs and the NFP, resulting in Mansoon Lek, the leader of the independent MPs, leaving the assembly in protest. Lockhaven Times. Communist Party leader arrested. Member of assembly arrested. Dennis Stoller, the leader of the Communist Party of Sordland, has been detained along with at least 10 other members because of their reluctance to give testimony for crimes linked to terrorist propaganda. Police raided the Whole Sword home of leader Dennis Stoller early on Friday. Stoller, charismatic leader known as the Sordish Hegel by some admirers, has been targeted by several earlier investigations, but this is the first time that he has been detained. Whole Sword accuses the CPS politicians of using the Red Youth Organization to create terror and acting to further the interests of the malevolist administration of United Contana. Wait, did I finish reading those? Hang on. I didn't actually read this one. Member of Assembly arrested. Was arrested on Tuesday for supporting Young Sword organization and aiding terrorism. At least 2 other NFP's members were also detained, lawyers said, in a major escalation of the government's crackdown on its opponents in the wake of the murder of Bernard Circus. Raids also took place in the cities of Jen and Ellery. I really wish it were like the letters were arranged in a way that made any amount of sense. Error-Lorry. Like, what kind of name is that? It's so weird in the mouth. The raids took place against a backdrop of rising criticism over the government's purge, which also saw the issues of arrest warrants against the 2 editors of the Whole Sword Post, who are known supporters of the Young Swords organization. Sordland Today is gone, apparently. Visited a middle school in Lorraine, known to be a proudly soulless establishment. Torren Hill School is one of the most popular middle schools in Sordland. During the visit, the president was seen speaking with the pupils and school staff before he ordered the removal of Tarquin Sol's portrait from the building. The reasoning behind this controversial and brave move still stands as an unknown, but it will surely create problems for President Rayne with his own party. This event might have very well been just for show, or a sign that there are widening cracks between President Rayne and the USP, or is this a sign that the USP is finally feeling the pressure and opting for a change in their values? Whatever the case might be, the foundations of the USP and the cult figure of Tarquin Sol seems to be losing its strength. Alright, let's go back to Lorraine. Briefing on the proposal of education reform. Hang on, I'm going to take some water here. We're still in Lorraine, staying at a modest guest house for state employees. Ciara set up a meeting with me and Lucian to go over her plans for education reforms after our school visit. Lucian was seated across from me at the table, going through documents. Ciara entered the room. After the visit yesterday, I couldn't even sleep thinking about that little boy and girl. Those little boy and whatever. I have never been more sure of my intentions to reform our education system. Lucian took off his reading glasses and put them on the table. I agree, an education reform is necessary. I don't see what's wrong with it. Well, I mean, I definitely see what's wrong with it, but I don't know if we need reform specifically. We should only really need to deal with one area at a time. We're trying to tackle everything at once. Exactly. Those students have to repeat the same soulless propaganda every single day. They're being brainwashed at an age when their minds need to be free. On top of that, young girls are denied the same opportunity as boys. They're forced into the role of housewife before they even reach puberty. Nothing's changed since I went to school. Women like me, Lilias, Nia, even your wife, we had to study twice as hard to receive the same university education that you and Lucian took for granted. Is that the kind of country you want your daughter to grow up in? Mr. President, we need to bring change. We need to free the minds of these young people. They are our future. Now I'm reading that, and all of it's like good ideology, but I've been tainted by modern day, just modern day, and all I hear is someone taking this and being all, oh, she's very radical in her opinions, and we shouldn't listen to her because she's very controversial. What about the other side of the situation? Like, the bullshit Twitter arguments. I just heard all of them come off of this. Very well. What do we need for the education reform? Everything is fine as it is. Why change it? Certainly not fine as it is. We need to keep politics out of the curriculum. Sol should only be viewed as a historical figure. Children shouldn't have to repeat his name every day. This is actively poisoning young, bright minds. Instead of thinking for themselves, they're learning to take things at face value. We also need to ensure boys and girls receive the same instruction. Handcrafts like knitting and sewing should be taught to both sexes, or not at all. Sordland's youth must be technically skilled and capable for the next decade. It won't be possible with the amount of nationalistic indoctrination and narrow-minded thinking found in schools today. Either we raise a generation ready for the challenges of the future or not. What will it be, Mr. President? Lucian, what do you think? Maintain the thing. Alright, well, Lucian, I need your thoughts on this. I can't just allow someone to talk to me without the thoughts of Lucian. As much as I respect Colonel Sol, his time has passed. Now is our time. I do think this might be a first step of a larger plan. Reform the education system. Alright, good. Lucian's on board, so he has to be involved. He's the brain of the country. You will not regret it. I will get to work immediately. Now that the decision has made, let's move on. Very well. Ciara skimmed over her documents before continuing. After the budget increase, the ministry quickly began formulating plans on how to effectively use the money. But before moving forward, the question of keeping education fully state-funded or allowing for new private schools remains open. Tell us about the benefits of allowing private schools. Excuse me. This is the most ideal situation. I've made my opinion clear. I'm against it, but it would give us additional funds for education while increasing competition. It would go against our overall economic strategy of a planned economy. A few minutes of deliberation passed. We have enough money to improve education in Sordland. We don't. We do not need to complicate things further with a privatization incentive. So, what is your decision? Incentivize privatization to draw more funds that should allow for more competition and quality. Keeping education solely a matter of the state, we need to prevent interference from private interests. Now, the issue with that is we need fucking money, man. We need money so goddamn badly. I listened to Lucian so fucking fanatically that it would suck if he was just the worst. He ended up being like, oh, yes, Mr. President Rayne, I'm going to put you in jail now. I've decided that I could run this place better than you. Keep education solely a matter of the state. Should allow for more computation and quality. Well, let's take a look. Fix economy, fix education. Fucking right now they're opposed. Right now, in this very instance, they are opposed ideologies. But whatever, I promise to fix education. And a fixin' now will go. Will do. That should be it for now. I will get to work and report back later. This has been a very productive day. I will be returning to Holsort. Thank you for your time. See you later. Have a good day. Thank you for your time, everybody. We dispersed after spending nearly the entire day together. I took a moment simply to breathe the fresh air, evening air of Leyren. I felt calmer here somehow, but I would have to return to the chaos of Holsort soon enough. Country overview updated. Ooh. Alright, hang on. RCR to start reformation of the education system. We're doing a lot of sweeping changes throughout the country here. Welfare here is interesting. Modernized education techniques. With the new educational reform, plenty of new education techniques are being introduced. Furthermore, the influence of traditional teaching has been curbed. Okay, we're getting a lot more green things than we used to. Experienced generals. Consistent economy. Nothing good going on in law. Alright, well, let's take a look at our... We've already done both of those. Let's take a look at the news. Lockhaven Times. Governor Rayne is making a mistake. Had a whole sort of second opposition party, the National Front Party. It's a front! Casaro Kibbener has said President Rayne will not be able to keep ruling the country without addressing policies that have negatively affected our security, culture, and economy. He blamed President Rayne for not being open to any discussions about proper reforms, which is hilarious as I'm the one suggesting them. Kibbener also criticized the PFJP leader, Franz Richter, for supporting President Rayne. NFP cannot be a part of this nonsensical collaboration anymore. It has been transformed into an anti-nationalist committee, said Kibbener. He also explained his concerns over how PFJP supported Arcasian imperialism and only cared about profit at the expense of the Swordfish people. Rayne is making a mistake by working together with Richter, said Kibbener, and criticized the committee for not discussing the real issues that surround Sordland. That's a shame. And anything else? Just Whole Sword? Okay. Alright, read the report from Whole Sword. Ministry of Education started work on education reform. Ministry of Education, Sierra Walda, is reporting that she has begun working on the approved education reform. The details of the education reform will be finalized over the upcoming months. If the reform package is accepted, the next steps of the process would be to discuss the indoctrination of education. Interesting word usage there. Read the report from Whole Sword. Launches second satellite. Intelligence reports that United Contana has successfully launched a second satellite which has the capability of radio communications. This means the United Contana radio communications will be able to be transmitted through a satellite for the first time ever, technology that no other country currently possesses. Fascinating. Meeting of Gloria Torrey on planned reforms. Gloria Torrey's office, Grand National Assembly of Sordland. I arrived at the Grand National Assembly, which was only a 5-minute drive away from the palace. Today I have a private meeting with Gloria Torrey, one of the leading after graduating from Sordland, critic of presidency. No, not you. The political overview. Here we go. Factions. Legislative. Speaker of the Grand National Assembly. Excellent. Okay, well, these are interesting situations to be interested in. Alright, anyway. Let's go back to what we were doing. One of the leading figures of the USP, and to get her approval for the proposal. She was also key in reaching 150 signatures to propose the new constitution, as she had extensive control over our party's conservative and moderate wings. As I walked through the corridors of the Grand National Assembly, I was confronted by my memories of this historic building. Despite being a member of Assembly not long ago, it now felt like the distant past. I walked into the left wing of the Assembly, which currently acted as the quarters of the USP. Gloria's office was the first one inside. I knocked on the door and entered. Good morning, Miss Tory. Good to see you, Mr. President. It was a small, neatly organized office. There were small figurines, photos, and plants around the place. It had a homey feel. Unlike my own assembly office, which when I had worked there. On her gesture, I took a seat. The chair was very uncomfortable. How are you doing, Miss Tory? Less familiar, but still pleasant. I'm fine, Mr. Rayne. How are you? Very happy to see you, Miss Tory. It's been a while. I'm good, too, thank you. As good as I can be. That's what we all strive for. Anyway, let's keep this simple, Mr. Rayne. We both know why we are here. You want me to give you my support. I don't see why the backbone of the USP would support your rushed reforms. Don't you realize they go directly against the wishes of the founder of this party and the state? Reforms are not against anyone. It is all in the name of democracy. Miss Tory, I need you to help me here. Reforms are very critical for the future of Sordland, Miss Tory. It's all in the name of democracy. In the name of democracy, even though you owe everything to Colonel Sol, I think you never liked him, nor the party he built. There is nothing personal about this, Miss Tory. I would never betray our party. There is nothing personal about this, Miss Tory. Whatever you intend to do, you will be facing quite the opposition. That's all I can say. I'm sure we can make a deal. Perhaps I could change your thoughts on the matter. With some well-placed investments? Nah, I'm not gonna bribe. You must understand that these reforms are a necessity. Let me explain. How? We need these reforms to fix our problems with the unrestricted power of the Supreme Court. People of Sordland demanded change. The USP must give them what they want. We need the people's support. The USP is a party that knows how to react in changing times. We must lead the nation into the future. Because this doesn't go against the party. Because this is like a support the people against the party. This is a we need to fix the problems. Which also isn't really against the party, but I'm leaning 3. That knows how to react in changing times and must lead the nation into the future. That's for the party to decide, not you. I seriously do not know if the Conservatives would be willing to support you at all. Especially considering the fact that you're trying to change the member of honor laws. This is clearly a move against President Sol. You want to punish him for the aggressive policies he pursued in the past? Is that the intention here? You can't win this fight, Mr. President. Sol built this republic in the midst of blood and chaos. He demands respect. This is not about Sol. This is a shame. I was hoping we could work together. I have no intention of putting Colonel Sol on trial. What makes you think I don't respect him? I don't like him, but I respect him. What he's done. Are you seriously asking me this, Mr. President? I thought we were talking about your proposal. Don't forget that I was there when you backstabbed President Sol in favor of the incompetency of Alfonso. I expected that you would go this route already. Change the reform. If this earns me your support, I will remove the point from the proposal. Look, I promise that we won't touch it, but these ancient laws should be removed. Then why are you so surprised? Come on, let's try to find some common ground. Nah. Look, I promise that we won't touch him, but these ancient laws should be removed. Fine, let's talk about your other points. I must say that I like the changes regarding the appointment of ministers. That's one positive aspect. But moving on. It is unbelievable that you are taking away the immunity of the justices. A big mistake. Even though the assembly is elected by the people, it does not hold enough judicial insight and neutrality to impeach justices. The separation of power shouldn't be damaged. This is something I cannot accept. I don't see anything democratic here, Mr. President, can you? It seems our understanding of democracy is very different. This will benefit the party. What I see is a bright future for Sordland. We need to be united. Let's change the topic and discuss how I can make you and the Conservatives happy. What I see is a bright future for Sordland. We need to be united. I continue to disagree. So what are you thinking about? Are you ready to make changes to your proposal, or should we keep talking past each other? Miss Tori, please try to understand me. I cannot give concessions now. We will not touch the immunity of the justices. Let's remove that point. But the immunity of the justices. They can't be immune, otherwise they will be garbage. Whatever. Finally, the proposal is starting to make some sense. She took a long look at the proposal on her table. You know what? I feel extra generous today. I believe I can give you the help you require. She positioned herself on the chair. I do have one condition. I want you to cancel that speech you were planning for your wife at the Benfey Festival. Mayor Les is not only popular in Benfey, he's one of the most influential members of the USP's conservative wing. We wouldn't want to upset him, would we? What does he have to do with anything? I don't care if he's upset. Miss Tori, please, you're being unreasonable. I don't have Monica taken off the schedule and let him speak. The first three are bad, but I don't want to do the fourth one. What does he have to do with anything? Mayor Lest. Mayor Lest. The Benfey Festival. I didn't know I could to do this. That's pretty cool. Population 1.5 million. Actually, that does raise a good point. How many people are in Sordland? 5.2 million. How many people are in Whole Sword? Okay, a little fewer people here. GDP rank 1, population rank 3, metro area. Elevation 908 meters. Alright. But Monica had really good points. What does he have to do with anything? I don't care if he's upset. Miss Tori, please, you're being unreasonable. I don't want to say any of these things. One is the least bad. He's not the only person who would be upset, Mr. President. You know that. If you want conservative support, you cannot let the First Lady speak in Mr. Les' stead. It's about women's rights. I thought... No, I won't let my wife down like that. This isn't about her, it's about women's rights. I thought you'd understand. Believe me, I understand. More than your wife, even. Tell me, why does she want to do this speech so badly? She wants to give Swordish women a voice. She wants First Lady to be more than... No, I don't care about that. Does it matter? She's my what? No. Definitely the first one. She wants to give Swordish women a voice. So do I, but this is not the way. I spent nearly 2 decades in this assembly. I know how real change happens. The old conservative men who hold the power in this government will not listen to Mr. Rayne's... Mrs. Rayne's speech and suddenly have a change of heart. Rather the opposite. They'll see a shrill, hectoring housewife who slept with the president for a spot on the stage and is now hopelessly out of her depth. God, that's so painfully true. Oh, it hurts to read. Campaigning for women's rights since I met her. You sound bitter. I'm sorry your path to the top wasn't as easy as... Oh, no! I'm taking my hand off the mouse in case I click that one. Oh, God. Oh, that would be the worst possible thing to say right now. The straight up fucking worst thing to say. Christ. Alright, let's hit 2. You might have a point. Listen, I do believe the status of women could improve during your administration. Your education minister has been gathering ideas for a bill that appears quite promising. But you've got to have patience. Having Monica speak now will be detrimental for all of us. Just let Mayor Lest have his little moment in the spotlight. His time will be over soon enough. Alright, I'll tell Monica the speech is off. I hate it, but I have to tell her. Thank you, trust me, it's for the best. Just don't forget, Mr. President. The Conservatives will be expecting a lot from you. I'll be expecting a lot from the Conservatives as well. I can get you the signatures needed for the proposal. I'll talk to the other Conservatives. I hope there won't be any surprises, though, Mr. President. Glad to hear that, Miss Tori. What surprises? Your lack of faith in me is disappointing. I assure you there's nothing you should be concerned about. Oh, that's absolutely a lie. I'm saying it, but it's a lie. I'll hold you to that promise. Of course, I can't guarantee that all the conservatives of the party will vote for your constitutional changes. I have serious reservations about privatizing healthcare or the Sordland state corporation. The support of my faction can change. That will depend on, to some extent on your policies, but the signatures, at least, are as good as gathered. Thank you. Which policies make you concerned? Signatures are not enough. We'll need the votes of the USP. We'll need all the votes from the USP. Well, that's politics for you. She smiled. I'll do what I can. Before we finish, there's one more thing I need to say. I'm concerned about the oligarchs and the state of our economy. I'm worried that they may influence you for their own benefit. We expect you to succeed where Alfonso failed in resisting their siren call. If you start privatizing healthcare or state-owned corporations, I doubt I can help you. Don't worry, that won't happen. I can't promise anything. These decisions depend on the circumstances. I'm not Alfonso. I know, that's why I want to see you succeed. She stood up. When that popped up, like the line, my brain just it said, she shut up. And I'm like, I believe I've made myself clear. Thanks for stopping by, Mr. President. I hope you'll hold your promises. She extended her hand to me for a handshake. Once I shook her hand, she immediately sat back down. But now I need to get back to my duties. If you'll excuse me, Mr. President. I understand. I'll leave you to it. Goodbye, Miss Tori. Thank you. I'll be expecting your wing support, Miss Tori. She only responded with a nod as I left her office. The conservative side was handled, but to get the 150 signatures I needed, I would also need to deal with Albin Clavin in the reformist wing. I went outside. Serge drove me back to the palace where I met Lucian and told him about the progress I made with Gloria. The conservative ring and the USP will support the reform package. It's so vitally important. Alright, it's so disastrously important that I get this reform. Meeting with Albin Clavin and the planned reforms. Though we are at 27 minutes, I don't want to go over by like 15 minutes because I'm stuck in a scene. I'm going to say thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, I'm Keywii, your two, so for a delightful day. I love you all. Goodbye.